Bang! Neves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we have a whole bunch of new knives to get into, so let's just get right into it. We're going to start it off with this Kubey, and it is the KB379. So these all have names. They don't put them on the box. I usually don't do a lot of research on the knives beforehand because I want a genuine first impressions. So let's start it off. So we have this Kubey model with a beautiful drop point blade. I like how it poons up and then drops back down. It almost is a spear point to some degree. Actually, it probably is. The pivot does sit a little bit low, so, you know, it's not centered with the scale, but the titanium scales have this beautiful micro texturing or micro milling kind of going around, almost like a, I don't know, like a map. The blade steel on this one, I believe, is 20 CV. What did the box say? 20 CV, yes. So 20 CV steel. We have a bead blasted finish, and it has good access to the lock bar. It is very, very smooth. I will say the detent is not super strong. Not that it's weak, it's just not strong, which does lead to a luxurious, smooth action that's very satisfying to slow roll. You have a front flipper. Ooh. I don't know about this front flipper. I mean, it's a good front flipper, like it works well, but it's just, you see how the scale's up higher right here? You usually don't want the scale above the front flipper. You want the front flipper usually above the scale. Now, I can get it, obviously, as you can see, but it's not the most satisfying, right? I can do it very easily. There's no problems with it. It'd be cool to fidget with, but it's not like, you know, if I pick the top 10, it doesn't fall close. We do have good thumb studs, though. I like that they have the nice sharp edges on them. They're placed in a great spot. This is obviously the primary way to deploy. Very comfortable in hand. Backspacer, titanium clip. And yeah, all in all, man, T8 hardware all the way around. Love to see it. It's a cool piece. Stop pin looks like it's okay. You know, it's in a spot back here, so you're never going to hit that. Is that? No. Okay, so the open stop pin and closing stop pin are the same stop pin. All in all, good size, cool knife, nice and comfortable, nice and slicey. I don't know the price, but I'll say the blasted finish, I prefer a, this is a nice blasted finish, so I don't want to knock it. It is a very nice set, or it's a very nice blasted finish. If you're going to have a blasted finish, I tend to not be the biggest fan of blasted finishes, unless if it's on, like, you know, more affordable knives. Not that big of a deal, but now this next one's from Pyratech. Now, I know you guys probably recently were watching the show from Atlanta, the Blade show all over YouTube from different content creators, and this was one they debuted at Blade Show, and it is their first slip joint. Now, I do have their locking knife and their fixed blade, which I do really like. I think it's awesome. So what did they apply here? So you have removable scales that are magnetic, just like their folder model and their fixed blade. But this one, being a slip joint, has this little tool right here, this little key, whatever you want to call it. So what you can do is you can pull this out very easily. And now I can set the strength of the back spring. So if I want it weaker, medium, or super strong, then you can change it. I choose the middle one. I'll show you guys the differences. This one is a little bit too strong for my liking. Very snappy though. Then and then when the scale's on, the pin won't pop out. I'm just leaving it off for 1 second so I can show you guys. Then here is the light one. And then the one I like it on is the medium. Now, I know I didn't show you guys that much, but it does definitely change it. This one happens to be my favorite. It has good enough pull, and then right here from the open position, or from the 3/4 to the open position, has a really nice snap. That's what I really like about it. I love a harpoon blade shape. So we have a harpoon drop point, not a clip point because this is not straight. So it does taper down. So it's a drop point. Or you can just call it a harpoon blade shape. And then a nice hollow grind. Beautiful satin finish. Titanium scales with denim micarta. I think this is denim. It's blue micarta, but it looks like denim. Regardless, blue micarta, and it will continue to just get bluer and bluer as you use it and hold it. And the pull on it, you have to pull the harpoon. So back here, you can pull it, but all the leverage really focuses right here, and it has this little sharp edge right there. So that's where you pull it, and you got to get all the way to the 3/4 and then snap it open. So does it have a good pull spot? Yes, it does. It does work well. It's not like a 10 out of 10 pull spot, but it's decent. It's good. So I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying like it's not the best pull in the world. And here is the slip. Really nice stitch. I like hand stitched leather. I think it looks really good. They got their logo right there. Very easy to put in and retrieve. Blade steel on this one is S90V. I think I already showed you guys this. And the hardness is 61.4. Like to see that. 61 to 62 from S90V is always great to see. It is a high wear resistant steel that doesn't have a super high HRC, but it is a steel that definitely stays sharp for a very long time. It's a great stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about corrosion. And yeah, it's a great knife steel, especially for something specifically like this. And yeah, you can one hand do it, but set on the medium strength, it is a little bit tough. The only thing I wish it had a clip. I will say this too. This mechanism, while it's cool, it is different. It's not like a regular slip joint. You kind of feel like the pull tension all the way to right there. And then it is kind of rough. Like it's not like smooth from here to here. So then when you get to here, it has that other pop and then the snap. So it does feel different than slip joints that you're used to feeling, but I wish it had a clip. That's probably my biggest complaint. I love seeing clips. I know it's a little difficult with something like this because of the scales. So I'm not saying they could have done it, but I think it would have been cool. Now this next one is from Rap Hacks. Now I met these guys, or I didn't meet them. I got this from Dagger Knives. So Dagger Knives is out of Russia. And they connected me with these guys. I'm not sure if they're affiliated or if they're just friends or whatnot. But they sent me this guy, or sent me home with this guy from Blade Show. And I freaking love this blade shape. It is a hollow ground, beautiful drop point blade with, man, it's so thin. It is a very thin grind, and then it has this button. Now the button is attached to a liner like a compression lock. It's not exactly, I don't think, maybe, I don't know. I don't think it's a compression lock because it doesn't hold behind the stop pin. It's just a button liner lock. You do have a very high flipper tab, so the leverage point right here is super strong. It is very steady. You'll never fail this thing. Like, this is basically an unfailable knife because of how strong the detent is and the positioning of the flipper tab. All you gotta do is just barely break that detent. It's coming out. Like the Ergos, very neutral. Not slim, but it's contoured, feels good in the hand. It's something I could use in any grip, and it'd be comfortable. Deep carry clip. What is this? I don't even notice this. It's got like a keychain on it or something. I guess you can, you know, put something on there. I'm not really sure what it's for, but, you know, you can hang a lanyard from it, I guess. Now, it does have a deep carry clip, not reversible, but it is inset with flat screws. T8 and T6 hardware because of the clip. I would prefer it to be all T8, but, you know, it is what it is. A lot of companies use the T6s for their clips. Now, my biggest negative to this thing, because I do like it. I really, really like this. I love how the blade sits all the way in the handle like that. I love the blade shape. I love the grind. I love the Ergos with the blade shape and grind. Blade steel on it is VG10, and this is the Kiki, by the way. I just seen that because it's very lightly written. But VG10 steel, perfectly fine. You know, great budget to mid-range steel. Now, what's my biggest negative? It has detent lash. So I know this is a button So it's a button liner lock, so I guess it still would be considered detent lash because it's using a regular detent ball. But when I'm up here, and it's so subtle, you're probably not going to see it. You can only feel it, but let me see if I can. You can kind of see it right there. So there's just a tiny smidgen of movement. But because you have so much leverage on this, what happens is when you put your finger up here, first you feel like a little click and then it goes. So that'd be my biggest negative. I wish the detent ball fit in the detent hole just a little bit better because this is an incredible detent. As far as the lockup, feels pretty solid. I have a little side to side, but that's probably just the pivot. So all in all, I do like the knife a lot. I just wish that detent would be tuned up a little bit. Now this next one, actually there's two, is from the Zach Knives. Now I've had a bunch of their stuff on the channel. You should definitely go check out their site. They have some pretty crazy designs and mechanisms and all kinds of stuff. They are pretty cool. Some people consider them a little bit gimmicky, some of the stuff, but some of the stuff is very well built. So like it's like premium materials, extremely well built. So, you know, if it's something that appeals to you, you know, you might want to check it out because they have some pretty cool stuff. Now, let's check this out. So first we have a little titanium frame lock. Very good detent with a replaceable utility blade. So what you do is you have this blade right here. I can push out right here, push out, and then I can pull this directly out just like that. And when I want to slide it back, I just wedge it like that. And I know you're afraid because it's sharp, but it's not difficult. You just push it in like that, bam, it clicks right in. So very easy to retrieve and very easy to put back in. Then, you know, it's just a titanium lock or frame lock. So you just, you know, disengage that right there. That unlocks it. I don't see a steel lock bar insert. No steel lock bar insert. But that's fine. You know, just create a little bit more friction on the lock. Now, there is something I don't know or understand. Okay, so I figured out what this is. So basically, you have your knife and you have a button right here. You push that button and then this can slide out and you can put a blade there for replacement. So you have a blade, a magnetized into there and then wedged in between the scale so it's not going to fall out or pop out. And that's kind of cool. So I want to show you guys this again really quick. So you got the little button right there, right? You hit the button, it pops out. That's really cool. Well, you can actually put two blades in here. So you can put one here and then one on this side. So you're carrying two blades. I tried to put two on each side and it won't close if you have two on one side. So you have to have just one single blade on each side. So theoretically you could carry two blades inside there through TSA. Joking, don't do that. But you could technically carry three blades on you all together with one in the knife and then two inside its little secret hiding spot. That's pretty cool. Nice little spot to store it. Now this one is basically the same thing, just a little bit bigger. It's using more of a scalpel blade shape. I'll be honest, I prefer this shape with the utility blade. I think the utility blades would still fit in this one as far as the size. Obviously this particular one's not going to fit, but I'm sure you can find utility blades that will fit that. And then it also does the same exact thing. It's got the button right there, so you can store a blade. Now, this one isn't going to be the right size, I don't think. This was from a different knife, but it does fit. So you can easily replace it. Great flipping action, good access to the lock bar. It is very smooth, even though it's not like drop shutty or anything, just because it's so light, but it is frictionless. Love titanium. I like that they have a spot right there where you could technically choke up if you want to. You do the pinch grips, they're gonna be very comfortable. The utility style blade shape is just better for me because of precision. This is going to be great for like skinning and, you know, I guess you could say like maybe some first aid, things like that. But if you're in the business of doing things that take a fine detailing knife, you know, like I was explaining the other day, like say somebody who paints, you know, and you have to tape things off and you have to get shapes perfectly when you cut out the tape or whatever, things like that, or leather work or whatever. These might be pretty cool. And if you're doing that quite often, you know, you probably want something nice in your pocket, not something really cheap, because it's what you do. So there you guys go. I don't really have too many negatives. I mean, they're cool for what they are. They're going to be exclusive to people like that, or somebody who wants to carry something next to their primary that is a little bit more precision oriented, because then you can save the edge on your really nice knife and use a replaceable blade instead for doing specific cuts. All right, now another thing I want to show you guys. Now, this isn't a knife, but this is a really cool flashlight. I actually have two of them. I genuinely really like this thing. So this is the Wubin G5. I have a black one and a green one. Let's check out the green one really quick. So what I love about this thing is that it's so simple. Right? It's such a simple thing. So one, you do have a clip that is movable, so you can like move it to the side. You just pull out and then slide, so now it's to the side, so you can kind of clip it in different ways. And then you hold it down to turn on the color mode. Then once you get the color mode, you can just rotate the wheel to have different colors, which makes it so easy. A lot of times you have to do this double click and then hold it, and you forget which one. Is it 3 clicks? Is it 2 clicks? And then you have to hold, like, it just winds up becoming a mess. This makes it so simple. Everything is adjusted by this wheel, and which light you turn on is dependent on here. Whichever one you leave it on, it'll come back to when you just click it once. So now if I want to go to the flashlight, I just hold it down and it'll go to the flashlight. And then if I want to leave the flashlight on, I can just click it on and off from there. And then anytime I want to switch back to the color, just hold it down. Makes it super duper simple, and I love that. It's aluminum body. It is pretty bright. It's something you can carry easily, like in a fifth pocket or in a backpack or a bag. I like that I can easily magnetize it to stuff. So what I can do is I can, like, say if I want to put it right here, or even right here like this, and then I can turn it up and just move that thing like that, or I can go like this and rotate it like that and light up my little area right here. It is pretty damn convenient. Like I said, just super easy and intuitive to use, and that's what I love about it. And I do like that they have the adjustable clip, because you can, clip it to a bill, clip it to a ledge or something like that. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you guys see that. So you can clip it to different things. So I left this thing hanging from something from the magnet overnight with the light on. And I had been using it already for hours, then left it on all night, woke up in the morning and seen it was still on. And it was still running strong. So this thing has a really good charge as well. And next we have a couple different AM8 knives. AM8 and Miguron are, basically, I would say they're the same company, but they're sister companies. So we have AM8 here. This one has a straight clip point blade and 14C28N. We have a G10 handle, good access to the lock bar, super smooth in the drop, great detent, phenomenal detent. You also have the hole deployment for the reverse flick or thumb flick. They both work great. Back here, if I'm behind the flipper tab, it is a full grip, but it is, it's getting tight, but it's a full grip, but I can always choke up if I need to. It does have a deep carry clip that's inset with flat screws, not reversible though. Again, man, the detent is very crispy. The geometry is a little bit more on the robust side, so this is going to be somewhat of a compact, tougher knife. All in all, it's pretty cool. I love 14C. They did a good job with the lock bar access. Good job with the sharpening or plunge grind. The plunge grind's way back here. You have plenty of room. It's got this gray blasted coating over it that'll, even help more with corrosion. T8 hardware all the way around, except for, what's in the pocket clip. So all in all, it's pretty cool. I really don't have any complaints for that one. Now, I do have one here. It doesn't have the name on the box, but I'll write it on the screen. It's very similar to that one. It's very similar to this one, just a premium version and larger. So they remind me of each other. And this one's also from AM8, clip point blade. This one has a dual grind though. So we have a nice thin hollow grind here, a little bit more of a robust flat grind. Love the straight clip point. If you're gonna do a clip point, I like when they're straight like that. And the tip does land almost center with the pivot, so it's gonna be easy to do utility cuts. Yeah, you have just enough belly to use for whatever you need to use the belly for. Very good ergonomics, and I can still choke up. Great access to that lock bar. The titanium frame lock has really nice milling on it, nice texturing. M390 steel on the blade. You have a fuller that works great. It has a nice sharp edge to it, which is another thing I really like. The flipper tab, again, great detent, man. They killed it with these detents. No landing zone, but it's still a comfortable flip, so you don't really need one. And you can light switch it, or I mean push button it, or light switch it. This one has not even broken in yet, but it's very, very smooth. I can tell if I put a little KPL heavy on the detent ball and flip it open a couple hundred times, this thing's gonna become basically fall shut action. The clip looks good. Yeah, the clip is great. Great clip. I like to see them doing good clips because, you know, that was one of my biggest complaints about them before. TA hardware all the way around, even on the pocket clip. Love to see that. Very cool. Yeah, this is a good one. This is absolutely a good one from them. Let's check the lockup. Oh, man, bank vault. Absolute bank vault. Very, very solid. Love the gripping, love the texturing. And, you know, these are, for what you're getting, for the materials, the build quality, the machining, they are priced extremely, extremely well. I don't have any negatives for this one, really. Yeah, pretty damn cool. I could say some little preferences, maybe. Like, it'd be cool to have a little texture right there, maybe. Lock bar cut out on the inside, even though it's not bothering me. You know, just little things like that. But all in all, they did a damn good job. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.